Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to start collecting Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry, and today we're going to look at how we can use the Kunnin Krew to start a Krulboyz warband for Warcry. In this video, we're going to go through all of the rules for the Kunnin Krew, which you'll be able to find the rules in the current White Dwarf issue 477. They also all are on Battlescribe at the moment as well. And we'll go through all those models, talk about what all of them do on the tabletop. We'll then take a look at some other Krulboyz minis we can use to bring in and expand upon this initial box set. And then lastly, we'll show you a little sample 1000 Renown warband for you to use as some inspiration for creating your own Kunnin Krew Krulboyz warband. Now, in this box set, we get Manok Kunnin. He is the leader option for the warband. Now, he's got some cool abilities he can do. He's got the Master of Merc, which is a really cool double he has access to. A fighter can only use this ability if they're within 1 inch of an obstacle for a double, and until the end of the battle round, as long as this fighter is within 1 inch of an obstacle, they cannot be picked as a target for attack actions made by enemy fighters that are 8 inch or more away. So he's really good at just going hiding, sneaking around the table. Now, the other ones we have access to with some abilities, we then have Talker Tough Skull. This is the guy with the giant things catcher at the back there. Now, he can use his Sneaky Snares ability, and this can also be used by Shank as well, which has got the smaller version of the ball and chain with the little trap. Our little Grot there, Grot, whatever he is. Now, this is for a double. You pick an enemy fighter within 2 inches of this fighter and roll a dice. On a 2+, until the end of the battle round, that fighter cannot make move actions or disengage actions. So really good for pinning enemy units in place. And then lastly, this is just for the Kunnin Krew, all your smaller warrior fighters. So this is Crook, Grin, Gicket, and Shank, all your Grots there. They can all use Gang Up, where you pick a visible friendly fighter within 6 inches of this fighter that has both the Kunnin Krew and Minion Rune Mark, and has not yet activated this round. You can activate that fighter immediately after this fighter's activation ends. So for a double, you can just chain off another one of your little minions. These guys give you a really good mix. You've got some really nice utility here. You've got a solid leader, 28 wounds on Manok Kunnin. He's also got 4 strength 4 attacks at 2/5 on his damage. He's really solid in a pickle. And then Talker Tough Skull is pretty nice as well. Toughness 4, 20 wounds, 3 strength 4 attacks at 2/4 as well. And you've got the utility coming out of things like Shank and Gicket, which is really nice. And then here we have some other models we can use to expand upon that initial box set. Now, we've got Grasslanders. I think these are a better pick than Gut Rippers to expand upon your warband. Gut Rippers aren't awfully great in Warcry, in all honesty, and I think Grasslanders just provides you with more versatility. First of all, Grot bosses are actually a minion or a follower rather than an actual leader, which is really nice. This will give you a really cool set of models. You can use them. They've got their nice throwing weapons. Their sulfuric scrap grenades are really nice. Strength 4, a couple of shots coming out of them. We've then also got the slitter knives on them in combat with 1/3 damage, nothing too crazy there, but the Grot boss does have 4 attacks at strength 3, so he is pretty nice. Now we've then got Bolt Boys. Man-Skill Bolt Boys, I think, are just a great thing. These combined really well with the ability to use Sneaky Snares and get some shots off with your Bolt Boys. Now, they've got 2 shots with their Man-Skill crossbows at 3 to 15 inch range, and they are strength 4 and 1/4 on the damage, which is really nice. And you've got some other abilities you can use across the army as well to get some extra good abilities with an aim shot, where if this fighter's next action is an attack, the crit hits set off on a 5 instead. Now we then have the Swamp Cooler Shaman and Pot Grot. These are a really nice combo. First of all, a triple for the Swamp Cooler Shaman will allow you to use Summoned Boggy Mist, where until the end of the battle round you subtract 1 from the attack characteristic of attack actions made by enemy fighters while within 6 inch of this fighter. And then you also have the pot Grot as well, which for a triple can use his little brood elixir, which you pick a friendly fighter within 1 inch of him and roll a number of dice equal to the value of this ability. For each 4+, remove 3 damage points allocated to that fighter. So a really solid healing ability. Lastly, we have the Killer Boss and Stab Grot. The Killer Boss is just a great combat unit. He's got a lot of damage potential and is pretty survivable for a Kruleboyz model. But what's really cool is the Stab Grot that goes along with him, which can be used as like to literally kick into the enemy and distract them if your Killer Boss ever gets into anything he shouldn't be doing. Now, you've also got the quad cannon attack. This can be used by any leader options, but the Killer Boss is particularly good at getting it off, where a fighter can use this ability only if they're more friendly fighters with the warrior rune mark within 6 inches of this fighter than there are enemy fighters, and those friendly fighters can make bonus move or bonus attack actions. And so here we have our little sample warband for the Kunnin Krew. Now, the Kunnin Krew, obviously Kruleboyz. We've got Manok the Canon, who is going to be our leader. We then have for fighters, we've got Torka, Toughskull, Crookgrin, Gicket, and Shank, all the members of the Kunnin Krew, which I think are just some nice miniatures, especially with those sneaky snares for the double. Now, a Hobgrot boss is in there for a nice little bit of another part of our little Grot contingent of the army. And then we've got a Man-Skilled Bolt Boy. He's going to be really good when we consider we're going to be able to use a couple of the miniatures like Gicket and Torka Toughskull to pin enemy units in place for the Man-Skilled Bolt Boy to later shoot. Now, we've then also got the pot Grot. I think his healing is just really useful for the warband. And lastly, a hero option, we have a Swamp Cooler Shaman, which I think is, once again, just a nice utility piece to have for the Kruleboyz. These aren't orcs that are generally going to win in a straight up fight. You've got all these cool abilities, like the ability with Torka Toughskull and with Gicket to tie up and stop enemies moving. You've got the Swamp Cooler Shaman that negates your enemy's damage, the pot Grot with his healing, the Bolt Boy with some nice range damage and the ability to make his crits on 5, and on top of that you've got Manok the Canon as well, who can just hide around the battlefield and sneak up on enemies with a pretty decent fighter stat block as well. If you've been playing with the Kruleboyz, and if you've actually taken the Kunnin Krew out for Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry, let us know what you've been doing and how you've been going down in the comments below. And so that's the end of the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to come and chat more with me, a number of members of our fine little community here at Sinful Gaming, you can do so by following the link in our video's description to our Discord server. Finally, if you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so either by Patreon or YouTube members, both of which are linked down in the comments below. As a special thank you to those Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons: Christian Weir, James, Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lyle, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising 8, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Derek, and Giappy390. And a special thank you as well to Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Pink Nico Fire, and Robin Mankiller, our YouTube members. Lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see on the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. Once again, everyone, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.